Oh,
Look at you. Yeah, that's a pretty epic background you got going on.
go big or go home, right?
I thought I was doing well, but I literally think you've just mugged me off. I'm disappointed with mine. Like, that's all action with yours.
Well, action reloaded,
Yeah.
Names
Fair,
as
fair
well.
play, fair play. Reloaded and done better.
I'll
Good
take
to
that.
know.
Man, it was great to have you here. I remember coming home from school and seeing you in Hollyoaks, man.
It's definitely a long way from Hollyoaks. Yeah, slightly bigger budgets.
Yeah, definitely, man. You've come far. Like everyone always says when they're in the UK and they're in the like TV series, they would always love to break the US, and you've broke the US.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, I guess it's about what you hold, as success or breaking the US. At the end of the day, there's people out here who you never see again, and they've broke the US because they're doing things on the quiet, and that's kind of the route I like to take. It depends on what you watch, because I've been in the US now for 13 years, and I've worked constantly, on some great projects, like obviously Land of Bad, American Gods, The Hundred and things, way back to some of my first gigs with Austin Land and Single Ladies, all kind of mistresses, all that sort of stuff. So, people often from the UK are like, "What's he done since Hollyoaks? I've not seen him." When I pop up in some press thing, and it's like, well, actually, I'm doing my thing, and it's kind of nice to kind of have that success in silence. You just go about your business and just do your thing. But I'll never forget my roots. I'll never forget how much I learned from shows like Hollyoaks. Some really great actors on there who used to help me out, and directors, producers, and camera people, crew and stuff. So, I'm not one of those that forgets where home is. Manchester, Liverpool will always be, in my heart for sure.
And this, I think, anyway, correct me if I'm wrong, is your first sort of big action movie.
Um, action. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, yeah. Which is strange considering I'm, a very physical, active person. I've always loved my sports, kind of growing up and into adulthood, and then I've always kind of tried to maintain my fitness. But yeah, this is probably the most physical I've been for the movie, which was fortunate that I do stay in shape, because when hearing about this movie, I got the call on the Friday to read the script, and that was meeting Will Eubank, the director, the next day on Saturday. I spent the morning kind of watching his previous movie Underwater that he did with Kristen Stewart, and 10 minutes in, I was like, this guy's a visual genius. If he can make dark underwater look just like vivid and just like incredible, what can he do with explosions and jungles and bullets and stuff? And obviously he didn't disappoint, because this movie is intense, it's epic, it's everything I knew it would be and more. But literally, I had that meeting with him on the Saturday, and I was on the plane. I was in Australia like 2 days later. So it was very quick. And if you don't kind of maintain that fitness, then I wouldn't have been in shape for the film. So I guess it's what they say. As an actor, you pay for the prep, and the acting's free. So very fortunate I stayed in shape, and I needed that fitness during this kind of production, because it was just four guys running around the mountains with guns, and it was very taxing, very intense. But the proof is in the pudding. I think the movie looks fantastic, and the boys did a great job.
And what attracted you to the role of Bishop?
All the money. I'm all about the money. I do everything for money. I'm a greedy so-and-so. No, it was my first action movie. I've always wanted to, as a kid growing up, I guess you want to play superheroes. You want to be Bond. You want to be, running through, the streets with guns and chasing, sports cars, in car chases and stuff, as an action hero. So when the opportunity came along, I've had previous offers, but the script has to be right. And with David Frigerio writing this, he wrote actually layered characters. It's not just your usual military movie. Bishop is actually kind of a war horse who's been, you know, on hundreds of missions with his crew, with his Delta Force team. But there's some depth in there. You know, he's the sarcastic, wisecracking kind of guy in the group, and he kind of pairs off really well with Luke Hemsworth's character, Abel. You know, I think if you look at the team, you've got Papa Bear, which is Milo Ventimiglia, then you've got the two misbehaving kids in, you know, Luke and myself, and that's kind of a great dynamic in there. And then Liam's the rookie that comes into that team with Russell Crowe, obviously the one that has to get us all home alive. So it's that kind of that knowing wisdom, that action hero guy, but also that fun that I got to have with Luke, on and off camera. You know, we got on like a house on fire. You know, I wanted to become a Hemsworth brother, and I think that kind of chemistry off camera, we brought that on camera, and I've not looked back since. You know, Luke's one of the funniest people I think I've ever met.
I have to say, when I was watching it, I did think you had the hardest sort of bit when it came to running around with guns, because everyone just had like AKs and M4s. You had this big cap and sniper rifle to lug around with you. How
That
heavy was that thing?
it's got to be. I'd say it's like 80 pounds, 100 pounds. I don't know, but I had to stop working out my arms and legs. So we went to the gym all the time. Like Milo looked shredded in this. Like he's so good. You know, Liam had just come back from an accident before filming, and so was kind of getting his fitness back in. And you see during this shoot, he just gets more and more jacked in this shoot. And then Luke's the same. Luke's just built like a tank. So we're always in the gym, you know, after filming. But I realized quickly that it was exhausting, like trouncing up and down those mountains, carrying all that kind of equipment. And yeah, we all had our guns, our assault rifles, but carrying that sniper rifle in my back, and then when we brought it out for the action scenes, if I had have worked my arms out at all in the whole shoot, I would not have been able to carry that gun. That gun was so heavy. That gun was bigger than Milo. It was bigger than Luke. That thing was massive, and I was exhausted. Like I just, you know, people are like, "Are you tensing?" I'm like, "No, I'm trying not to drop the gun." It was ridiculous, but I got nothing but props for all our kind of heroes that kind of, you know, in the field of the military that kind of do this work and have to kind of lug around all this equipment for days and weeks and months and years on end. And, you know, for all they do for all our countries, you know, being a forces kid myself, a military brat, you know, you realize the sacrifices that they make in the larger scale, you know, keeping us safe and protection and stuff. But just the everyday, just walking somewhere with all that equipment on, I got a tiny taste, and I didn't want it. So thank you to our forces.
I don't blame you. Without giving anything away, your character does go through hell.
Yeah, he goes. I got told this before, you know. I for some reason in many roles I get with American Gods and Shadow Moon, with the 100 and Lincoln, I get told I do pain really well. And for some reason, every character I kind of portray goes through a lot, and Bishop's no different. You know, he goes through quite a lot in this movie, as do all the characters. But it's surprising because I've seen a lot of action movies, and you know, I watch them, and you know, there's action movies that you like and you enjoy, but you won't watch them again. I've seen this a couple of times now, and even if I wasn't in it, it's such an intense thrill ride that you miss things. You see things again, and you're like, oh my god, I forgot about that. Oh wait, what about that bit? Oh my god. And there is just so much going on in this movie that it really is like a non-stop roller coaster. And you know, poor Bishop really does kind of go through it, but hopefully, you know, the fans kind of really enjoy it, and it's one for the ages that they can keep going back to.
Yeah, definitely. I was speaking to William the other day, and I hands down told him that I rated this 5 stars. It was brilliant. It's one of the movies you just want everyone to see.
I appreciate that so much. I think we're in a strange kind of era at the moment with the industry. They don't know what they're doing. You know, people are kind of getting over the superhero movies. They kind of want to see something fresh, something new. And I think it's been a long time since something like this, you know, this fun ensembles come along. And, you know, Will Eubank, I genuinely feel is the next generation of directors who's just going to blow our minds, you know. And
I agree.
once I spoke to him and I saw his work, I wanted to get in on the first runner on his ladder because I think he is due incredible success in his career. And I think this is not the beginning because Underwater, he was fantastic. Signal, he did great. But this movie will blow people's socks off, you know. It looks like a huge, ridiculous, extravagant blockbuster movie. And what Will was able to achieve with that crew is fantastic. And I would have to say, you know, alongside kind of American Gods with Neil Gaiman, which I was very proud of, this is the movie that I'm the most proud of by far. It really is a pleasure to be involved, and I'm really excited to show the world.
And one of the coolest things of the movie is you get to say the title in the movie.
It's a no. It's you're not meant to. It's one of those things. You should never say the title of the movie in the movie. Never mind have it tattooed on your skin. Never mind show the tattoo and say the line in the movie. So I had nightmares for 2-3 weeks coming up to that scene. But David Frigerio, Will Eubank, they were very cool with it. They let me kind of play around with it, mess around. We did it loads of different ways, and they knew I was sweating. And Milo kept coming up to me. He's like, "Bro, how are you gonna do this?" Luke was just killing me the whole time. Just like, it was, it's a shame we can't show the outtakes just yet, but Luke was just killing me after every time I finished that line. Like he would rip into me straight away in character. So some of it stays in there, but it was tough. I can't lie, but I gotta say, I don't have any tattoos, but Bishop's tattoos are pretty sick. And if you look closely, there's a lot of Easter eggs in there. I can't say much, but all his tattoos mean something, either to the crew or part of the movie. It's something to do with the movie, little Easter eggs. So obviously it's very quick, and I don't want you just staring at, Bishop's biceps, but but if you look closely, all his tattoos, there's a little key to the storyline.
And ladies, that's a good way for him to say, just pause the camera on me.
Ladies, just tell your man, you want to keep watching this movie and pausing it on torso shots of Bishop, because you want to, you just want to see, what's going to happen.
Your character of Bishop, I'm not going to say if he lives or if he dies, because the team does take a complete hammer in. So if you want to find out, you have to watch it. But whether or not your character lives or dies, would you be open for a prequel or sequel?
Well, this is a movie about war, and sadly there are no winners in war. So obviously there are people who won't stay the entirety of the movie, shall we say. And that's why, whilst we were filming already, because the chemistry of the boys, literally Milo, I've known Milo for years now already previously, and I've always wanted to work with him. I've been such a fan of his for so long. He's such an incredible dude. I met Luke and Liam in Australia for the first time and hit it off straight away. We were straight out for dinner every night, steak dinners. They were showing me Australia, all the sites. They took me home to meet Mum and Pa, who were amazing as well. We got on so well, and the chemistry was so good that the producers were literally sat there, just like twiddling their fingers going, we could sell a prequel sequel now, just on the rushes alone. So I think there's a lot of excitement about this movie and getting this team together again. So there's definitely scope for a prequel sequel. There's a little section of the movie where we talk about a previous mission. So there is potential for maybe showcasing that mission as a prequel leading into this one. So hopefully they do it soon, though, because I don't want to lose too much weight. I want to have to put that muscle size back on again. That's tough in the gym.
Before we wrap, I just want to ask you a quick question about a movie you have coming up called The Beast in Me, which reunites you with Russell Crowe. Can you tell us anything on that?
I can tell you that it's an incredible script again by David Frigerio, who wrote Land of Bad. Russell Crowe in Land of Bad just brings gravitas. What an incredible actor of our generation. And if you want to watch an actor with his nuance, his presence, then that's the kind of guy. And if he's involved in anything, you want to be a part of it. And so it was a non-decision for me when Frigerio, passed me the script after Land of Bad. I wanted to be involved. It's a UFC fighting movie where I'd be playing an antagonist for the first time. So kind of the bad guy in a what I like to say like an Apollo Creed kind of shape role, a current unbeatable champion. And I've been studying UFC. I've been studying a few things. I remember training with Anderson Silva a while back, so I'll be hitting him up, and I've been looking at kind of personalities like Conor McGregor and things like that. But it's an all action fight movie again because it's Frigero. It's got depth. It's got character development and some beautiful dynamics in it. Unfortunately, I'm supposed to be shooting that right now, but it was pushed to September due to some scheduling issues, which now allows me to promote Land of Bad. But unfortunately, I didn't know that until like a week before I was due to fly out to Australia to start shooting. So for the role, I had to lose 20 pounds to play opposite the very talented Dan McPherson, who had to put on 20 pounds so that we looked in a similar kind of weight category. But I had to lose that 20 pounds over Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's Eve.
Oh, no.
I even had a trip to Paris and had 0 pain chocolat, no carbs. And then the movie got pushed. I was, this is the things that fans don't see. They don't appreciate, the hard work that goes in. I was on a crazy strict diet. I was literally miserable, moody, fatigued all the time, and for 2 months. And then the movie got pushed. So I'm looking forward to getting it done. I'm not looking forward to kind of having to get back into that shape. But now that I've lost the 20 pounds, I'm kind of sitting around that. I've put a bit more back on again. But I'm sitting closer to that movie weight so that I don't have to lose it all again. However, I might have a couple of other projects that are going to be in between, which I might have to put weight on again. So, it's the life of an actor. For American Gods, I had to put on 40 pounds of muscle. So, your body's always bouncing. It's not very healthy, but it's what we do to kind of portray the characters that we want to put out there, and it's just part of the role and part of the process. But yeah, Beast and Me it's going to be a fun kind of action fight movie, and I get to play a character that no one's ever seen before. A really charismatic kind of. He's not necessarily the bad guy, but he definitely knows how to push buttons in a Conor McGregor kind of way.
I'm looking forward to it. Well, on that note, I'm going to wrap this up here and tell everybody to get their asses in seats for Land of Bad. It's out next Friday, I think it is.
Yeah, February 16th, all across the US.
And if you had to sell Land of Bad to anyone listening or watching, how would you do it?
Liam Hemsworth, Milo Ventimiglia, myself, Luke Hemsworth, lots of topless flesh, and then Russell Crowe with just pure heart, gravitas. Not to mention the rest of the cast in Dan McPherson and Chica, who is incredible in one of her first roles on the big screen. It's a non-stop action thriller, but one for the ladies, because you can't not look at Liam Hemsworth's baby blue eyes and fall in love. Like, that was one of my things. When I filmed, I couldn't look him in the eyes. It's a love story, actually, between Bishop and Kinney. So, we kind of start hating each other, and like all good romantic movies, you're gonna have to see how it pans out. But there's love there, ladies. There's love.
That's the best plug ever for the movie. That should be on the cover.
They should. An action movie for the ladies.
Ricky, it has been a complete pleasure speaking with you, man. I've been wanting to chat to you for ages, and I'm finally glad we've finally, got this opportunity, man. Thank you.
No, I appreciate you. I appreciate your time and your patience with me, and this has been fun. I appreciate it. Hopefully, we'll get you over on the next one.
Yeah, definitely. It was wicked speaking to you, Ricky. See you later.
You too, brother. Have a good one.